Oh my God!
Oh, hi there. My name is Prostetnik Vogon Jeffs, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the 2024 supernatural horror film, The Watchers. It's the directorial debut of Ishana Night Shyamalan, the Nepo baby director-daughter of M. Night Shyamalan. And I know what you're thinking. Does Ishana Night have the same directing talent as her father? Is she just as capable behind the camera? The answer, you may be shocked to find out, is a resounding yes. She is just as bad at making movies as her father.
What a twist!
They're both awful. Let's get into it.
I f***ing hate this f***ing movie.
Nepotism is the worst. If you aren't familiar with the term, it basically just means favoritism, usually to family members or close friends. It destroys businesses and institutions. Always has, always will. And Hollywood is ground zero for it. A haven of talentless and entitled spoiled brats with egos the size of their fat, Botoxed heads. All of them running around Tinseltown thinking they got where they are because of some inherent skill or ability. Anyway, I'm getting carried away here. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, The Watchers. Spoilers! This movie is terrible and I'm gonna spoil the whole thing. Alright.
Good evening! What a show we have for you tonight.
After 4 straight minutes of watching some random dude try to escape a foggy forest, we meet Dakota Fanning's Mina, an artist working at a pet shop in Ireland. Her mother died 15 years ago, and now she likes to change her appearance and go out to bars as a different person.
It's just something I do sometimes.
Don't worry about this, though, because it will never be addressed again, and it's just a lazy attempt at establishing a theme. Anyway, Mina is tasked with delivering a fancy yellow bird to a zoo near Belfast. She ignores a call from her sister, Lucy, and then her car breaks down in the middle of a forest. Oh my god, could this be the same forest that dude at the beginning of the movie was trying to escape? No!
That's impossible.
Mina decides to hoof it the rest of the way, but moments later finds herself lost. The car has vanished. So she decides to name the bird Darwin.
If we're gonna die here together, you might as well have a name.
Because evolution or something. I already hate this movie so much. The ground starts rumbling and Mina encounters an old woman who runs away, leading her to a small concrete building in the middle of the forest. Fearing for her life, Mina runs to the building where she meets the old woman, Madeline, along with Kira and Daniel.
What is happening? What is this place?
They call the building the Coop, and every night, mysterious creatures called the Watchers observe them through a magical mirror window. The following day, Mina tries to leave, but wait for it, she can't.
You're not the first to have tried getting out. We've all tried and failed.
Madeline tells Mina about the signposts in the forest. There are a bunch of them, and they indicate a point of no return for traveling to and from the Coop.
Who built them?
Daniel and Kira call him the Professor.
Passing them means certain doom at the hands of the Watchers. So Mina returns to the magical concrete bunker and watches reality TV while Kira dances for the Watchers. The next day, Kira and Mina gather medicinal herbs from the forest, and we learn that the dude from the beginning of the movie was John, Kira's husband. Madeline and the others tell Mina about the rules.
Do not turn your back to the mirror. Do not open the door after dark. Do not go near the burrows. Always stay in the light.
And then more reality TV, just in case you weren't clear about the voyeuristic comparisons being established. Mina and Daniel go hunting for birds to eat, something he used to do with Kira's husband.
We all have a role to play.
Mina questions him about the Watchers and how he's been there for over 8 months without seeing one. Mina thinks Madeline might be lying to the group, so she gets Daniel to help her explore a burrow, breaking one of the rules.
It's against the rules!
She finds a bunch of useless shit and a bike that could help them escape. I guess because bicycles work so well in forests. Whatever. Madeline is suspicious about how Mina got all the junk, and later that night, the Watchers try to trick the group into opening the bunker door. Fearing further retribution, Madeline returns the bike and the rest of the junk to the burrow. And we learn that Mina caused the death of her mother by acting like a spoiled little shit who got her hands caught in an automatic window. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. It's winter now, and the group is struggling. Mina has been mapping out the forest, but oh wait, Daniel has lost his mind and tied up Madeline. Mina frees her, but the two are locked out of the coop by Daniel. They hide under some brush until the Watchers leave in anger, and they have another chance to bang on the bunker door. Mina tells Daniel about her sister and convinces him to open up. Bullshit. Madeline is worried they've broken too many rules, and then tells the group that the Watchers are fairies, or changelings, or, oh god, it doesn't matter. They are creatures that are studying the group so that they can become them.
But it doesn't make any sense, okay? It's f***ing stupid.
Well, the Watchers are done with watching, I guess, and they attack the coop. The group finds a hatch to an underground chamber underneath a rug in the middle of the room that nobody has found until now. Are you kidding me? Oh, no, I can't do it. I thought I could do it, but I can't. This movie is so fucking stupid. I've got to wrap this up ASAP so I don't lose my goddamn mind. The group enters the bunker basement and finds a bunch of old videos recorded by the professor, who's like a professor from a university or something. He's been studying the Watchers. He reveals there is a way to escape the forest. You gotta follow a bird to a boat. F***ing nonsense. So that's what they do. The group leaves the bunker and they use Mina's yellow bird. Oh my god, they didn't eat the yellow bird. They're all starving for months and they didn't eat the yellow f***ing bird. Right, well, they leave the bunker, find a weird stone marker that Madeline uses as an excuse to dump more exposition about a human war against fairies.
They were banished to a tomb deep underground. They clawed towards the surface, only to discover they had lost their wings.
And then Daniel gets killed on the way to the boat. Great, whatever. After escaping the forest, Mina heads to the professor's office and learns that fairies and humans once lived in harmony, with some producing offspring that could live in the daylight. She also learns that Madeline was the professor's wife, until she died. That means that the Madeline they escaped the forest with must be, dun dun dun, a hybrid fairy.
What a twist!
Mina heads to Kira's house to tell her about her discovery, but then she notices bugs in the sink and is all like, oh shit, that's kind of weird. And then the real Kira comes home and Mina finally realizes that the Kira she's been talking to is actually faux Madeline, the fairy. They fight, and then Madeline takes a break to dump more exposition.
Einrachtor was the name they gave me at my birth. The Day Walker.
And then Mina, at the last possible moment, tells Madeline she's a hybrid fairy and half-human. It somehow sends Madeline into shock, and she can't control her transformations. So Madeline grows wings and flies off into the night. Sometime later, Mina has reconciled and reconnected with her sister, and the two are hanging out in her apartment. Outside, a young girl with red hair, Madeline in disguise, watches over her, 'cause she's a watcher. Get it? The end. Thank fuck. Before I dump all over this mess, let's talk about a few things that weren't completely awful. And when I say a few things, I actually just mean one thing. I was momentarily excited when I first saw Madeline, played by Olwen Fouere, Olwen Fouere, who I've never seen in anything until I recently saw her in Tarot. I was like, oh, hey, that's the old lady from Tarot. She's making the rounds in Hollywood this year. That was kind of weird. I don't even know if that constitutes a positive here, but I've got nothing else, so. I'm not going to waste too much time here. There's nothing noteworthy about any of the technical elements of this movie. The acting is not good, the cinematography is competent at best, the directing is amateurish, obviously.
Amateur.
The set design is lazy, blah, 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 blah. But I will say that it's almost a novel idea. The concept of killer fairies in a forest who are trying to mimic their captive humans, that's pretty fresh, but the execution and the litany of overused tropes ruins any semblance of originality. And nothing about the world building makes any sense. There's no consistency and everything is destroyed by logic and common sense. The forest is magical, to some degree. That's why people get lost in it. So how did the professor build the coop? Are you telling me he had a construction crew come out into the magical forest to build it? Or did he do it himself, by hand? It's an element of the story that completely falls apart as soon as you think about it for more than a few seconds. And the bunker door in the middle of the coop? You're telling me that there have been people stranded in this building for months, if not years, and no one bothered to lift up the rug and find the door? I mean, it's all just so incredibly stupid. And I honestly don't even want to discuss character development, because there is none. I mean, Mina has an arc, but she's the only one. And it's done so poorly that it's not even worth analyzing. Like, she holds on to the death of her mother for 15 years and gets over it because... why? Because she says that she knows what it's like to feel like a monster to Madeline? That's what does it? There's no logical progression behind her catharsis. There's no raising of stakes. It's just a series of events that Mina happens to be participating in. And anytime she actually contributes to the progression of the plot, it's so contrived that it's legitimately infuriating. As for pacing and length, I'll say this. It's fine if you aren't paying attention. But if you're trying to make it through this trash more than once, like I've had to do for this review, good f***ing luck. And that's where this really gets bad. I love the Sixth Sense. God, that's hard to say. Sixth Sense. The sixth sense. I loved The Sixth Sense when I first saw it. And repeat viewings actually work in its favor. You get to see all the little clues regarding Bruce Willis's character. It's clever. It's well thought out and expertly crafted. In The Watchers, this is most definitely not the case. Madeline, the antagonist of the film, makes no sense as the antagonist. She doesn't even behave like the antagonist until Mina visits Kira's home at the end of the film. There are no clever clues to her true nature during the film. Her motives are undefined. Her actions only serve the needs of the poorly written script. It's a mess. And let's not even get started on the ending. Seriously, let's not even get started on it. Next. I'm baffled by this movie. The first time I watched it, I was like, this is not a good movie. But after a second viewing, I'm downright mad at how terrible it is. It's like Lost, if it was a movie written by a retarded 8-year-old. It's so determined to be interesting that it fails miserably at being coherent.
What a twist!
The twists are predictable and unsatisfying. I've already said everything I need to say about this waste of a movie. What a load of unwatchable horse shit.
Was it that obvious?
Shame on M. Night Shyamalan for not only making some of the worst movies of all time, but for encouraging his offspring to continue the same tradition. Good God, The Watchers is a truly terrible movie.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.